will not assist in this court because we need the truth. The WhatsApp call was not in operation during the period of October, during the period of 2014.
No, I can't agree.
WhatsApp call, there was no WhatsApp call during the year of 2014.
I can't agree, my lord.
Yeah.
What's the situation? Because you're the expert.
Oh, Fakazi.
If you call it a WhatsApp call, if you're using BlackBerry Net or if you're using internet, what is the difference?
Oh, I see.
Uma ukuthi-ke usebenzisa-ke i-internet noma-ke usebenzisa i-BlackNet umehluko ukephi-ke lapho?
Remember that time, my lord, we all started with BlackBerries. Then we go over to the phones we're using now. And when we start using this phones, the BlackBerry Net goes out.
No.
Let's not confuse the record, Mr. Steyn. Let's not confuse the record because there are two transactions. The first one you said it was transacted via BlackBerry.
That's correct.
Then I'm still there. I'm still coming there. I'm on this one. The transaction for the 15th of October, which you say it was via the internet. When I ask what type of internet communication, then we are saying it was a WhatsApp call.
Like I just mentioned to the court, what is the difference between them?
Aibo.
If you might talk in my talking terms, it's the same thing.
Aibo.
Rather, if you use BlackBerry Net, if you're using BlackBerry Net, you're also using data. You're not using airtime.
Oh.
You know why you're confused now? Confusing the two now. It's because of the fabrication.
My lord,
The type of the internet that was used, you said it was not a WhatsApp call. When I say WhatsApp call was not in operation in 2014, we are moving on to the BlackBerry BBM.
my lord, no comment.
Hey, Tada, we are back with another video. There was the voice of Colonel Steyn being paralyzed by Advocate Msololo. Colonel Steyn did not know the difference between a BlackBerry call and a WhatsApp call. The so-called state expert said it's the same thing. How ridiculous. But that has been the state case ever since the beginning of the case. The state case was centered around the mastermind theory. However, we all know that the call link between accused number 5 and Kelly Khumalo was fabricated in order to create this imaginary mastermind hitman theory. We all know that Senzo Meyiwa was shot by mistake by that self-confessed drug addict. That information is contained in the statement by Mbungu Hlophe. So without the Fiso Ntule issue as well as Kelly Khumalo issue, the state has no case. We were told that Umtitilo Zinkabi was Fiso Ntule. He was allegedly hired by Kelly Khumalo to delete Senzo Meyiwa. However, the state failed to provide any proof that concretely link Kelly Khumalo and Mr. Fiso Ntule. Pela once Inkaba had done the job, there must be a payment. But in this case, the state failed to provide any payment. Remember that the state has the access of the bank accounts of all 5 accused as well as Kelly Khumalo. But the state failed to give us any proof of any payment. Even if it was 10,000 rand, I would accept it. But in this case, they found nothing, zero. Plus, you must remember that in 2014, Kelly Khumalo was broke. So she could not have managed to hire a hitman. She was so broke, she had to borrow money from the likes of Somizi. That's the information that you can find in the social media. But let's proceed with the evidence raised before court. When the police received the Section 205 from Vodacom, it was in a PDF format. Then they converted the PDF file into a Microsoft Excel format so that they can insert that fake communication record between accused number 5 and Kelly Khumalo. That was done in order to create that mastermind issue. They wanted to say Ntuli and Kelly Khumalo spoke via that call that they can't describe, whether it's a WhatsApp or a BlackBerry call or even a Facebook message. I would accept it, but they can't tell us. Colonel Steyn testified, and then he had to be recalled because his evidence even left the state confused. Even Bale was confused. He had to call Steyn again, But even in the second attempt, Steyn could not answer the simple question, how was the call made? He couldn't answer because it is a fabricated evidence that is before court. So I'm hoping that when the defense open their case, they'll be able to counter Steyn by bringing their own telephone expert who's going to come and tell us that Steyn is wrong. There was no WhatsApp in 2014. He must also tell us that there's a difference between WhatsApp and the BlackBerry Messenger call. That is very important for this case because you could hear that Judge Ratha was falling for Steyn's lies because Ratha, he believes everything that comes off the state witnesses or the state prosecutor, which is Vaseline Baloyi. So in that clip, you just heard Advocate Mshololo paralyzing Steyn, and Steyn could not come back. Steyn doesn't know the difference between a WhatsApp call and a BlackBerry video call. He is so-called an expert. What type of an expert is this? Surely Steyn is an expert from them or a Hong Kong expert. Secondly, Steyn also misled the court when he said in 2014 there was a WhatsApp call facility. In 2014, you could not make a WhatsApp call or WhatsApp video call or whatever. You could only send a message via WhatsApp. That's it. So WhatsApp only introduced a call facility in 2016. I think it was in November. That is a fact. You can check it and verify it by simply doing a Google search. It will show you when was the call facility introduced on WhatsApp. Secondly, you must remember that Pinky from Vodacom stated that he cannot confirm that there was a communication link between Kelly Khumalo and accused number 5 because that information was not made via a Vodacom facility. So it was left to Colonel Steyn to continue cooking for the state, but he disappointed the state, the judge, and everyone else. Because when Steyn was being cross-examined, all he could say, "My lord, I'm sure, I know," but he could not explain further into details how was the call made. But Steyn, when he converted that file from Vodacom from PDF to Excel, that was fabrication because he changed the original records that were provided by Vodacom. As a witness, you are not supposed to change any record, but you're supposed to analyze the information as it is, as it came to you. But Steyn, what he did, he converted the file into PDF, into Excel. That was done in order to insert that fake communication record. That is a fact, because with Excel, you can play around, you can edit, you can insert a row or a cell or whatever. But with PDF, you can't change it. So, which is why the state fabricated by using Microsoft Excel. So, if Judge Mokhwatleng was a fair judge, he would just throw away or discard the evidence that was provided by Colin Steyn because it was clearly tainted and fabricated. The moment he converted that file into Excel, it is fabrication. Therefore, there is no evidence that shows Ugutu Kelly Khumalo ever spoke to accused number 5. To further prove my point, that fake call or communication with Fiso Ntuli only lasted for about 90 seconds. So how can you plan a hit with Nkabi in less than 10 minutes? That is a ridiculous theory by the state, to say the least. Gininda and Baloyi should have tried something better. Secondly, if Kelly Khumalo wanted to delete Senzo Meyiwa, he would not tell the Nkabi to shoot Senzo Meyiwa at her own house or at her mother's house. Clearly, come on now. Remember that Senzo was shot at Kelly Khumalo's mom's house. No criminal or no idiot would ever do that. Nobody would want a crime to be committed at their house or at their home. That is the basic logic. For instance, if Kelly Khumalo wanted to delete Senzo Meyiwa, then he was going to ask the Nkabi to shoot Senzo Meyiwa maybe at his own house or shoot Senzo Meyiwa when he was driving or wherever, but not at the Khumalo house. So this theory of the mastermind does not have legs to stand on. Then the state realized that the fake communication link on its own could not get these guys convicted in a court of law. That is why they opted for Constable Zungu. They brought Zungu to just try and link all these guys with the shooting of Senzo Meyiwa. So the state needed someone that can link all the accused to the Meyiwa shooting. Constable Zungu was a policeman, and it was easy for the state to convince him to testify. But now let's connect the dots. Remember that Absalom Zungu told Daily Sun that his son testified because he was promised something in return by the police. Ubaba Absalom said his son told him the police promised him a promotion within the SAPS as long as he links all the accused with the Senzo Meyiwa shooting. That is why Zungu came to court and told us that all the accused were at Kwabini's house, and they came back with guns after 9 and so on and so on. Zungu only said that because he was expecting something in return. Zungu had ulterior motives. He testified in court because he simply wanted a promotion. There is information that was provided by his father when he spoke to the Daily Sun. Now we know that Zungu testified because he had ulterior motives. He did not testify in court because he had the interest of justice in his heart. No. Zungu wanted a promotion at his work. So if you don't see that the safe case is cooked, then there's something wrong with you upstairs here. You should be at Fort Napier or at Vescopies to get some help, because clearly the state has fabricated this case. I also think that the mainstream media does not help, because they seem to have been fooled by the state narrative or by Gininda and Maloi. The mainstream media has just been captured, and now they are feeding us the state propaganda, of which is very sad. When I watch Newsroom Africa, it seems like Abol and Damnesi are watching a totally different case. They bring experts that only support the state narrative. Don't get me wrong, in this country we have some of the best legal experts like Elton Hart and Melchi Quli, but we don't see enough of them because they've questioned the state case. To be more specific, Melchi Quli and Elton Hart are not convinced that Bongani and Musibia confessed voluntarily, and that is why we see less and less of them on TV. You will hardly see Elton Hart on TV now because he questioned the confessions. So the media prefers the legal aspect that promotes the state's narrative. Then also, there is none of the mainstream media that have tried to interview Absalom Zungu since the Daily Sun bombshell. You would expect that SAPC, Newsroom Africa or NCA would have interviewed Absalom Zungu because he made serious allegations against Brigadier Gininda. Gininda works for the state, so everything that he does is of a public interest. So the state media or NCA should have tried and interviewed Absalom Zungu to get to the bottom of this accusation by Absalom Zungu. But they won't interview Absalom Zungu because he is exposing the state lies and the state fabrications. That's how our media is captured. It's a fact. But Absalom Zungu will put on record that Brigadier told him to implicate Bongani and Musibia of shooting Senzo Meyiwa. That will happen once Absalom Zungu has been called to testify on behalf of the defense. Zungu will tell the court that Gininda tried to fabricate evidence. Then Absalom Zungu will then deny that he ever made any statement to Brigadier Gininda. So the statement that was mentioned by Gininda in court is a total fabrication according to Absalom Zungu. Absalom Zungu uthi yena akabhalanga statement or akasayinanga any statement to Gininda. Unaloko uthi uGinina tried to offer him a trip overseas and money in return yokuthi implicate uBongantanze and Musibiya. But because Absalom Mzungu is a man of high integrity and a man of honor, he declined the offer ka Brigadier Gininda. So once Babu Zungu comes to court, the state case will fall apart because it will be clear that there was no statement that was mentioned by Gininda. Uthi uBabu Zungu wathini washo wacima into engekho leyo. So once the defense has brought uBabu Zungu, the state case will be tainted, and the judge, any judge that is fair, would find the 5 men before court not guilty of shooting Senzomiyo. However, we have Rata here. But anyway, once Babu Zungu comes to court, I'm sure maybe Urata will be swayed to move his thoughts and beliefs away from the state case. We shall see. But the state fabricated evidence. That is a fact. Remember that Vaseline Baloyi never even showed us the AVL report of Constable Zungu. He just told us that the car that was driven by Zungu had no AVL. But come on now, we all know that imoto zamapoisa are all fitted by AVL. So that AVL was hidden by the state because it did not support the state narrative. That is a fact. The state is hiding AVL Zungu because it shows that Zungu was not at the hospital on the night uSenzomiyo adutshulwa ngayo. So the state uyabona ukuthi sinamanga la. The state is lying. However, once this circus case is over, and once these accused are released and proven to be innocent, then we can move to docket 375. Then the likes of Brigadier Gininda and Baloyi will not be responsible in that case. Docket 375, obesokuphethe obani labo oMakhubo. One of Makhubo will get a chance to charge those people that were in the house because the shooter was amongst them. That is a fact. We know that by reading the statement of Mlungisi Hlophe. I'm not going to repeat what I've said in the previous video because you all know now that what in Mlungisi Hlophe. But my only worry is that time is running out against docket 75 because of the delays that we have in this case. The more we delay, the more we lose time. You know that as time goes, we may lose certain witnesses that can help the state case. And you also know that as time goes, some witnesses may lose their memory. So that means they could forget of what really transpired in that house. So I'm hoping that this case can proceed and finish quickly so that we can get to docket 275. As you know that we have lost about 11 people in this case. So we do not have time because we may lose more witnesses. We have lost the likes of Brigadier Ndlovu and his wife. They were deleted because they were going to contradict the state witnesses on docket 636. We all know that someone that tried to attack Warrant Officer Makhubo this year. Luckily, Makhubo was not at his house at the time when the attack happened. His son pressed the panic button and then the state criminals ran away via the Toyota Corolla. So docket 375 investigators and witnesses are always in danger because someone out there does not want them to speak in court, which is why time is of an essence in this case. The faster we finish the circus under Chacha, the better. I just hope that the likes of Warrant Officer Makhubo, Josh Buthelezi, and others will remain safe and fit until docket 75 is brought before court. I also worry about the safety of Absalom Mzungu because he is now speaking out against Brigadier Gininda. So we don't know what might happen to Absalom Mzungu because he has no bodyguards. He's just an ordinary man like you and me. So he's at the mercy of the police. is at the mercy of the mafia state. I pray that he's safe wherever he is. The current case is just a circus because we are the wrong accused. Musibiya, Bukantanzi, Kadlamncube, Mapisa, and Fiso Ntuli are all innocent as they did not participate in the shooting of Senzo Meyu. I just hope that the judge will see it that way because the evidence before court under docket 66 is not adding up. Remember that we were told that Kadlamncube is the shooter, but his cell phone pinged at the Joint Black CBD at the same time when Senzo was shot, meaning that Kadlamncube was not in Vosloorus when Senzo was shot because he cannot be in two places at once because he is not the Holy Spirit. Then we go to the issue of a gun. The people that were in the house said the gun had a will, meaning it was a revolver. But Chris Mangena is telling us that Senzo was shot with a 9mm. So the state witnesses are contradicting each other. So that on its own should create a reasonable doubt for Judge Ratta. Therefore, he must acquit these guys because they are innocent. That is a fact. Thank you.